When they walked up to the car, they saw Julio Foolio was right there shaking and everything. So once they got to him, they realized it was way too late. It was nothing that they could do, man. And so this is when they started looking around. The guys that already ran off, they looked and seen somebody drop the iPhone. One of the suspects dropped the iPhone on the ground. The screen cracked. This is the first thing that Tampa PD went to. They took the phone up and put it right into a plastic Ziploc bag. This was evidence because if they can get the phone into a charger and put that to the computer, they're gonna be able to get the computer whiz dudes to be able to unlock it and figure out who the suspect was that dropped the phone right next to Julio Foolio's car, because this is the only thing that they have right now on anybody. This is what they was talking about when they said that they have one person of interest that they know for sure that they'll be able to capture. This is what they was talking about, and that same guy was in the back of Youngeen Ace music video. This is how they know that it's connected back to the beef that started between ATK and KTA, man. This is why everybody was talking about the same thing. They was pointing fingers and saying that this all goes back to Julio Foolio and the people that he dissed. Julio Foolio dissed all them people in one song and everything, and they came to get their revenge, man. This is the same, this is why that they even showed up, was the fact that Julio Foolio, like, he had a whole lot to do with a lot of stuff that was happening in Jacksonville. Like, he was actually making it to where they was trying to look for him. They wanted to do something to him and stuff because allegedly he had something to do with taking out Youngeen Ace's friends and everything like that, and that's why they were even into it. So by the time that everybody was at the hotel and everything like that, and it got out of control, somebody called in. It was a noise complaint, because how did they get kicked out of the hotel in the first place? The dudes must have been already watching in the parking lot until they realized that everybody got kicked out the hotel. Either they called in themselves and said that it was too noisy and made the manager go up there and kick them out, or somebody close to them or something. Like, it must have just been the unlucky day for them if an actual customer from the hotel called the front desk and told them to kick them out. So whatever happened, the dudes that was ready to get Foolio, they were already in the parking lot. They was keeping eyes on everything. They was keeping eyes on the door, and they was like counting how many people was inside the place. So when they seen them all coming down the stairs, this is when they let loose. They already had Pooh Shiesty masks. They ran up, flooded the whole thing. They waited till Julio Foolio walked into the car and shut the door. That's when they came up and the first rounds went off. They had drums and everything. They had 100 rounds and all that. So what happened is that after they dumped the 100, the guys left, and one of the phones dropped out of his pocket onto the shell casings, and this was what the evidence marker that they ended up putting down. If you saw the picture, I want you to pay close attention to this picture right here. If you saw when they sealed off the whole location in the perimeter and they put the caution tape up, this is what made them put the evidence marker on the ground, because they already found somebody's phone, like, and it was near the bushes. So they knew that one of the guys that got away, they must have been the person that dropped it, and this is what's going to lead to getting a person captured for this, and they're going to get that guy to tell on the next guy, because once they get one guy, they end up always telling on somebody else. A lot of these street dudes, they don't last that long, man. Once something happens to them, they quick to telling, and this is why a lot of people say that this is this whole like, all of the people that's out there doing time, they pretty much got snitched on, and it was because of situations like this where somebody dropped the phone, they found the fingerprint, they left something there like a mask or a piece of clothing, and they got the hounds to sniff it. Once they found the phone, they instantly knew exactly who it is, because they dusted it for fingerprints and it came back with a match. Because most of the times, 9 times out of 10, anybody that's out doing a drill and going out to do something like how they did Julio Foolio, they've probably already been in trouble before and have their fingerprints in the system. So when they dusted the fingerprints on the phone and found that it matched to a dude who already did time for the same exact type of thing, then this is how they knew that that was the hitman, and basically he was trying to get the money from the money that they put on Julio Foolio head. Because you got to remember, they didn't do this stuff for free. The only people that would actually, like, without getting paid, go out and do this is somebody that's very close related to the family members of the people that Julio Foolio did. So this is why everybody thinks that it must have been like his ops that took him out. It's no other way to paint the picture, because they know that the last people that he even had any type of beef with was his ops. And when they seen that the license plates came back to Duval County, that's like in the Jacksonville area, they knew that this was somebody who had the location on Julio Foolio, whether they got it from his cousin, whether they got it from them posting online on IG, or when they went live, or whatever it was, from the invitation to the party. They knew he was doing a show already in Tampa. This is what gave away. Anytime these rappers go out and do shows, the promoters always make a banner or some type of reel, a highlight clip saying that they're performing at this place, at this location, at this time. So the ops already knew that Julio Foolio was going to be doing a show in Tampa. So they started riding around to all the hotels. They went to the fancy hotels, and they didn't catch him there. Once they pulled up to the Holiday Inn, they knew it was one. It was either the Holiday Inn or the other one across the street. So when they pulled up, they already seen his car there, and this was the same exact location that Julio Foolio's buddy already dropped the location on, because he's also in on it too. He's trying to backdoor him so he could get paid like a lot of money and stuff, and these guys was gonna split it. But this is the crazy thing, because all that money that was put on Julio Foolio head, and it's split between 7 guys, everybody's only gonna get like $1,500 each. So it never ended up even working out to be in their favor in the first place. They're risking a whole lot of time just for a little bit of amount of crumbs. This is why, like, people should pretty much learn a lesson from this and know that they shouldn't be messing around with nothing in the streets like that, because look how they ended up. Now that one guy who dropped his phone is telling on the rest of the guys. The feds already made a connection between Julio Foolio and his ops, and Youngeen Ace, and everybody that's in Jacksonville that was actually feuding already before this. They made a paper. They already have a trail and a track record of doing this to each other. So as soon as it happened, nobody was surprised. They already knew that this was a direct tie from their past previous beefs and everything like that. So this is what made them pretty much make Tampa PD work with Jacksonville and everything. Basically, the whole feds is coming in on this, because they're going to try to RICO it because of the way that it all happened, and the place and the time and everything like that. They can't do this no more. They can't have this type of stuff go on and have like regular citizens and innocent people be caught up in the middle, in between stuff like this. This is what happened to the other people who was with Julio Foolio. But they also, anybody that was hanging out with them should have known that they were being targeted already because of who they dissed, how they've already had revenge happen to them. Like, they've got people hit up on both sides already, so you know that they're willing to take it that far. So anyone who was hanging out with Foolio should have already been on high alert and know that anything could pop off at any minute. It's probably best for them not to even hang out with him at all. And so this is why a lot of people, they wanted to be, maybe they were still there for his friend, and they were showing love for his birthday. Maybe they had some incentives. They was getting some money out of it. Maybe they just wanted to party for free and go to the show for free, or they might have been working with him on the road for the shows. But however it happened, the 3 other people that got caught up in the mix in between on this, it's not even their beef, and they just happen to be pretty much guilty by association because they hung out with Foolio. So when the guys came and they was ready to pretty much end it off for them, they didn't care who got hit up in this whole thing, because if you was around Foolio, then you should have already known that you was basically like you could get lined up too, or something could miss him and get you. And that's exactly what happened. And so it's a sad situation, and they trying to make a change for this now. A lot of people are coming out and speaking up and saying that they have to stop all of this that's going on, the senselessness of all of this that's happening. And basically Jacksonville is on lockdown. They have a curfew now because they don't want nobody to jump out and crash out to retaliate from either side, knowing that all of the stuff that happened, the consequences from it, it makes it to where it's not even worth it at all. So everybody gotta pretty much learn a lesson from all of this and take it for what it is, because this keeps on happening and they have to put an end to this soon. Now, whatever they do with the suspects and all of this stuff is pretty much they're gonna try to set an example and throw the book at them. The judge might be throwing football numbers out there. You never know with this type of thing, man. And basically, at the end of the day, let me know what y'all think about this whole situation going on and stay tuned for the updates.